Righto! It's Thursday night. It's a witchy woo show. Michael's just trying to get in, but we've got these two good-looking fellas right here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, we've got the Alan Merritt and we've got the Loquacious live. We've got Davey Babies in the house, and we're going to have a full house tonight. So it's lovely to see you all, boys. Are you all good?
All good, mate. All good in the hood, as they say. Well, they're saying it at the moment, aren't
they? How long's that cigar you got on there, Dave?
That's a roll-up, mate.
Oh, I thought you was having is that one of them funny fags?
He's got to leave the cigars alone because you don't know. You're supposed to be leaving them alone.
I know. I'm trying to keep off them, but someone bought me this one last week, funny enough. They bought it in the shop. And they said, here you are, Dave. By the way, he's got a load of them for you. And I haven't gone to go and pick them up because I'm trying to keep off them. They're not good for the ticker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not, no. But look, you got to live.
Anyway?
Yeah, mate, not too bad. You got to live your life, you know. If this world's now set up, you can't do this. Don't eat butter. Dairy's bad for you. Don't eat cows. Don't eat chickens. Eggs. Eat egg wheeler curry. And before you know it, you're looking around going, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to eat. Am I allowed to drink? And we've allowed these people to get into our subliminal subconscious.
Half the country's gone dairy intolerant, have they? Lacto this and lacto that. And what's the other one? Oh, gluten-free. Have you got any gluten-free?
There's this woman, Michael's just trying to get in. Mikey, if you can hear us, darling, you're having device troubles. Once you're in, you'll be here in a second. Anyway, this couple's got a barbecue on the go. They're like having a week's holiday somewhere, and this woman's come up. She says, "Oh, I can smell that. That smoke's coming into my caravan," and she's a vegan, right? Anyhow, and they got this bit of meat out and went to give her a bit, and she's having a heart attack. She's having a meltdown. I'm like, mate, what has happened to people? Why can't you just, if you see someone eating meat, turn away? If you eat someone eating a dandelion and it ain't your thing, just turn. Why have we all got to be on each other's grills all the time? I just don't get it.
Dave, is this? I thought I tuned like hot black or something. They're like two billiard balls there for a minute. The white ball, there's a white ball and a black ball.
Showing fucking age again. Showing his age again. Fucking hell.
He probably
he's got a Q in his mouth. Look, he's got a Q in his mouth. Look.
I thought you was my fucking mate.
You are.
I'll
tell you what I've done to you. I've sent you some talcum powder to put on your head to take the shine off. You know what I mean?
That's been out in the Humber estuary all day with me bald head.
Ain't that going, Mike? Talking about talcum powder, and they taking that off the shelf now, Johnson's.
I don't know. No, I mean,
evidently it's full of all sorts of gear that you shouldn't be rubbing into your body. Evidently.
Well, it's good for feet, isn't it? It's Johnson's. It's baby
powder. It keeps the undercarriage dry in this hot weather.
Anything you can rub in is nice.
It's good for when you're on the Humber.
It is. It's nice to see it's nice to see you've all still got your electric on and you've not been turned off yet. And that lovely. And that fucking lovely.
I've got lights on that I don't even fucking need. I'm not paying it now, so they can fucking burn. Come and get your meters, EDF. Anytime you want them, they're downstairs. Fucking get them. Come and get them, mate.
I had a guy from Eon a couple of weeks ago telling me, don't believe what you read because it's all bollocks. He said that it's a lot of it's hype. They're hyping it all up, and so when it's not as expensive as you think it's going to be, they'll say, "We told you, look how good we are to you." A lot of it is hype, so I won't take too much. Wait and see.
There is evidence of people being really stuffed.
I saw your live the other night, Dave, and I brought it up on our show on Monday when you said about the lady who had the bailiffs come round and had her meters removed.
Yeah,
or blocked, whatever they did to her. So she couldn't have any gas and electric. And that same night, I got a DM from somebody who put 75 quid on, these meters now, what was it called? A card meter. Electronic meter, yeah. But he's also got a smart meter to see how much he's using, bless him.
Yeah.
He's put 75 quid on in the morning, and in the evening, it's gone down to £4.28 because they've just took money off of it.
Well,
but then last night on the live, we had a bit about the gas and electric and the prices of the bills, etc. And one lady in particular, she's got a 3-bedroom house, so it's a pretty big house, and if it's 3 bedrooms, she's got 7 TVs in that house. What the fuck she's doing with 7 tellies, I do not know, but she's got 7 TVs, 3 freezers, so she's got a bit of gear running constantly, hasn't she?
Well, the thing is,
of course, your lights. Yeah, and her bill is £386 a quarter.
Yeah, well, I've got a freezer, I've got a fridge, I've got a wine cooler, and I've got another fridge. Okay, and Dave will tell you when he came round to where I used to live and said, and he explained to me what the most expensive things to use are, and the most expensive thing I think you said, Dave, was electric kettle. Was boiling water was one of the most expensive.
Yeah.
Things. Once a freezer is, if you've got it full up with food, the chances are it won't keep kicking in because the keeps it at the right temperature. So it's best to stock up your fridge and freezer, keep it stocked up, and that will keep the cost down. You know, meanwhile you go skin trying to buy the food to put in it, but that's beside the point.
It's funny.
Have we all become too reliant on this stuff? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know,
of course.
You've got to have all this fucking electric.
But saying that, we went to war with Saddam Hussein years ago because we said that he had weapons of mass destruction, these big helmets that he was flying around out there, Scud missiles. Yeah. Saddam and Gaddafi, if you lived in Iraq or Libya, you never paid for electricity. It was free.
Yeah.
They used to give you money for weddings. If you wanted to come and study in England, go to Oxford or Cambridge, he would fund you, should get you over here. So that's the reason why we went into these countries, right? Now, my personal opinion is the national grid itself has confessed recently to getting 2% of what energy companies, which are credit brokers, what they're charging. Now, they're trying to cripple the people of this country and they're using these methods. See, this is what the Third World War is all about. People are going to be in it but not know it. And that's exactly what's going on. So let's say, for instance, you was using £100 a month of electricity and you're getting a bill from Bulb, Octopus, British Gas, whatever. They're actually giving the grid to run its gig, millions and millions and millions of us, £2 a month. So 98% of that is going to private shareholders, private dividends, private pension funds. Yeah. We must be idiots in this country to have allowed this to happen. We really must be.
Well, you can take the same scenario with petrol as well. The price that and the amount of profit they were making.
You have to be objective about this. I mean, you have to take all the passion out just for a minute, just for a second. You just mentioned pension funds. Now, we've all got pension funds. A lot of my pensions are in gas and oil. They're in all kinds of weird, in banks, all kinds of stuff, and they're making really good dividends at the moment. So you can't.
Would we?
Absolutely. So a lot of people have got pensions, and they're all. Yes, of course, it's a fucking nightmare. You know, trying to get join the dots and sort of try and make £1 go to £2. But you've got to take a view on it. You know. The only thing that's really annoying, you can deal with that, but you cannot get away from the fact that if you've got with a bank, I've got £100,000 in one account, and they're paying me £12 a month for that to be in there. 12 quid a month. That's up. 100 grand. One guy, I saw. This is what I think it was. One of the banks said, "Oh, yes, we appreciate that it's really bad at the moment. So we're paying 1.01. That's 1 penny for every £100 you've got in bank on savings. 1 pence." They said, "Oh, we're putting it up. We're putting it up to 2 pence. So every year, if you've got £1,000, work it out yourself. You're going to have about £1 if you're lucky.
It's worth nothing.
It's an absolute.
I put £2,000 in a sterling bank account. I made 4p on that.
There you are. Well, I've just opened a Starling bank account.
Yeah,
Starling are paying about 0.55 on their current accounts, and so I'm going to put like 10 grand in there just to see how it goes. Because
I put 2 in a Starling one, and I got 4p.
4 pence.
Yeah.
When this country, yeah. when this country was for the people, by the people, and we had people for the people railways, and it was people for the people infrastructure, and the NHS was for the people, it might have been slow. It might not have worked on time. You might have had to wait extra half hour to get a train. But I'll tell you one thing, it was fair. It was fair. All right. Whether you liked it, you didn't, it didn't matter. The buses were fair. The trains were fair. The NHS was fair. The gas and electric was very fair. I can't never remember my mum and dad whinging about how much they were paying for gas and electric or how much the price of food were. It was never really on the radar. But now we're in a position where so many people in this country are going to be sitting in the dark and having no eating or hot water this winter. Why? Not because there's scarcity with any of these things. We know that oil fields replenish if you let them replenish. It's like someone taking a pint of blood from your body. Your body's going to remake it again. The earth does the same. This isn't about profits and losses. This is about greed. That's all this is about, is greed of bankers. And the greed is also tied in with control. Because when they've got control over your meters and they can turn you off like Caesar with the thumbs up or the thumbs down, you're running around like a headless chicken while they're sat on their yachts getting noshed off by a blonde bimbo. Now, no disrespect, ladies. These things happen. We know how these people live. But the problem is, it ain't right. It's unfair. We need to get back to fairness. And that's all we need to return to.
That was fucking poetry, mate. That was lovely.
Point of order. The Romans, this and that is bullshit. Yes, he did that, but he did this. He did this. It wasn't this and that. It was this. And most gladiators weren't killed anyway. It was too expensive. So they only did it on special occasions. So I'm just
guys, look, I come into the world for fairness, right? I don't mind my mate next door having a Ferrari or me mate the other side running a three-wheeler. That's their business. But I object to this harassment and mental cruelty on the people of this great country by politicians that ought to know better. Our founding status in this country is the Bill of Rights. It's what Parliament's assembled on. And it says there that nothing HM government can do or any of their successors can be of the prejudice of the people. Well, when we're in our flats and our houses worried about how we're going to pay the bill, how we're going to send the kids to school, how we're going to put food on the table, that is prejudice in us. They should never be doing what they're doing, guys. I'm telling you now, they shouldn't be. And we need to stop them. We need to hold them accountable. Richie Sunak has just put a massive extension on the side of his house. I think it's 2 million quid's worth. It's an entertainment room, swimming pool. They are laughing at us. Now, imagine all you lot at home sat there. If you, the people that are struggling in this country right now, imagine you go and lay out in the garden and lay naked, or just lay down face up. The politicians are coming down and squatting over your face and pulling their pants down, and they're rubbing their arse cheeks all over your face. That's what they're doing. And you should be very incensed and very upset about what's going on, because it might not be affecting you right now, but it's coming for you. Make no mistake. This is a whirlwind. It's coming for everybody.
Yeah, of course it is. So well said, Dave.
Cheers, mate.
There's no way to follow that, really, is there? I mean,
because Dave's going on with his with this Bill of Rights they brought out now. They're trying to erode every last bit of what you thought you might have had. They're trying to do it through these scare and the way their tactics are played out. It's just a fear factor. A government is not what it should be.
I've got to tell you, I was in London yesterday. And I'm going up tomorrow, actually. I would have gone today, but a train strike. But I was in London yesterday, and I was born in London, all Londoners, you know, so all born there. And it's not the London I knew and loved. We got Subject Khan, you know. Yeah. He's in Islamabad getting a medal for being a Muslim, and that's all he's getting a medal for, because he's not fit to be the mayor of London. But if you take London, looking at London, taking what all you said, London now is controlled by banks and controlled by people who are manipulating the system. Now, and that's true, because why is it that the people in London are now being forced to drive at 20 miles an hour in roads that were originally 50? Why is it that people are being stopped from going up one road or the other because they blocked it off, because you can't go up there now because we say so? Why is it that people who are going about their everyday lives are now being forced to do the most unthinkable things, which is get on trains when you could, which you can't find. I mean, if the train, I waited an hour yesterday, one train an hour. I mean, get on use public transport. What's the point of using public transport? You get on a train on the underground. I've got to tell you, I waited for three trains. I couldn't get on two of them, and absolutely packed. And there was no air conditioning like we've been promised. There's still no, you can't use a phone down there like we were promised we can do. And that's because Suck Dick Khan can't get his act together. He's not mayor of London. The man is a Muslim. And when we talk about Muslims, I'm racist here. They talk about most, in fact, I don't know any Muslims are anti us. He said, but the statistic is that 1.1% of Muslims are out to kill us. 0.1%. There's 1 billion Muslims in this country, in the world. 0.1% is what, 100 grand? 100,000 people out there. That's the size of the British Army out in the world trying to kill the Christians. Now, the good thing is,
have you listened to Dame Sarah Khan?
No.
Dame Sarah Khan is the new. She's not a minister, but she's in charge of cohesion now of the United Kingdom.
Cohesion.
And, but listen, she's about late 30s, maybe. Yeah, late 30s, I would think. She obviously, with the name Khan, she, as you can appreciate, she comes from a Muslim background, Muslim parents, mother and father. They're devout Muslims, the mum and dad, but she never was and isn't still to this day. And she has emailed every single council in the country and told them that you've got to stop saying about the far right. She has said, and she said it on her own streams, that the councils need to start waking up, because if they honestly believe that there isn't radical people within Islam, they need to go and get their bumps felt.
You only have to go to Rotherham. You haven't got to go anywhere else.
But how long she's going to last in that job?
Yeah,
with those views is another story. You know what I mean?
Look at the Salman Rushdie. Since the 80s, they've been trying to kill him. Now he's lost
the
sight.
88, that came out.
Stabbed him in the eye. 15
yeah, I remember.
Have you ever read the Satanic Verses? I've never read it. And but we still got free speech. You say what you like, do what you like. But can we? I mean, can we? Because the woke left won't let us do anything. I mean, even sitting there discussing this, we'll probably breach of some go, it's disgraceful.
Yeah.
We'll make a complaint about this. Well, why are they making a complaint when we're free Englishmen in a free country with free speech, in a democratic society? Then why aren't we allowed to say, right?
Everything seems to be deemed as hurty words, Mikey.
Sorry?
Everything seems to be deemed as hurty words.
Well,
it goes against standards and things like that, and you're censored right, left, and centre. And the police are probably one of our worst enemies for the way they are, the rules and regulations they're trying to bestow on people. That once you consent to anything that the police say to you, you're bang in trouble because they use everything you say against you.
Well, the Metropolitan Police are on special measures, aren't they? They are being supervised to run the Met. Okay.
We've had 4 murders. We've had 4 murders this week, and they're in special measures.
So where is it? So that's what I'm getting down to. So where is the mayor, who's also the crime commissioner for London? Yeah. Where is that man? He's in Pakistan getting a medal from Islamabad.
The problem is the mayor of London has got too much power, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's not answerable to anybody really but himself.
It's not just about the power he's got; it's what he's doing with it. He's siphoning loads of money into the Muslim society, and we know that. That's a fact. He's destroyed. He's destroyed the thing that he's trying to destroy, and it looks like it's the very fabric that makes London one of the greatest cities in the world. It now is one of the shittiest places to live.
You're up against it. How you get someone in to get him voted out? That's
well,
the
you
problem.
can't, because there was how many true Londoners left in the middle of London? How many people live in Bethnal Green?
I would say the majority of true Londoners that, well, I mean, obviously we don't all know everybody, but I do know quite a few people in North and a few in South London, and I would say the mass majority left are definitely working class, and unfortunately those people in the majority don't even go out and vote. They haven't. Some of them have never voted, and those that have now see it as a total lost cause. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're now saying that if you're gonna sack teachers or engage teachers, they've got to. If you're going to sack teachers, they have to be white first. If you're going to engage teachers, they've got to be ethnic. Okay,
yeah,
so they're discriminating against the white people, and that's because they take the view that this country is full of white supremacist place. Well, let's look at it. How many fucking slaves have you got? How many slaves have you got? How many slaves have I got, or Dave got? We haven't got slaves. But if you go around, like I used to go to all these big houses, and I used to drive these people, go to Nigerians, go to Arabs, go any of the Middle Eastern races, they got people working for them for nothing. They're lackeys. They are slaves, and we allow them.
If you're putting it that way, people working you for nothing, then I've probably got that.
Well, exactly. The other thing is, I mean, we say it time and time again. This country was the first country to abolish slavery. Okay, and who were we fighting to abolish slavery? It wasn't the Americans. It wasn't the French. It wasn't the Germans. It was Muslims. It was people from Africa. Africans were the worst of the worst. Arabs, worst of the worst. Let's go back to the Egyptians. Let's go back to the Romans. Let's go back to why aren't they being persecuted like we are? Why are we being persecuted? Because Cecil Rhodes was apparently white slaver. They forget the fact that Rhodes scholars, I think Bill Clinton was a Rhodes scholar, have been educated on the foundation. Are they going to say, oh, well, you know, that cost like £300,000 to educate me? Well, and all those years ago, are they going to go back to the Oxford and say, well, here's the money for that because I don't agree?
If it wasn't for the slave trade, Bristol wouldn't exist today, would it?
Well, exactly. That's Colston. I mean, absolutely. But so this country, Nelson fought them across the seas. He fought these guys and destroyed them, and they were bit by bit by bit. It was curtailed. They stopped it. Well, America had the Civil War. You know, that was more or less the end of it. It wasn't the end of slavery because the South still had slaves.
You've got to remember, go back as far as the worst slave traders were the black people themselves.
Of course they were. They were the people who went and caught them. I mean, if they hadn't gone to court them, we couldn't have bought them. You know, basically, I'm not suggesting.
You know, people tell me and say you enslaved us and you do that. They talk about us being enslaving the blacks. It wasn't us that started enslaving the blacks. It was the blacks that enslaved the blacks.
Exactly. This has been going on. It's been going on since man could walk up straight and paint on cave walls. They captured people and got them to work for them.
It annoys me, Dave, when people turn around and saying the white supremacists have enslaved the blacks and put them down and done this, that, and the other. But it wasn't the whites; it was the black people themselves. They were the worst slave traders in the world.
Yeah, that's a true fact.
Did you see the fella today? Matt's just sent me something on through our admin group. Did you? And it's flown around the internet. I mean, I think Annie O'Sullivan, who put it up first, she's had 1,900 shares on it on her page. Did you see the fella today coming out of his roof upstairs?
Oh yeah, the Muslim Ali Akbar was shouting.
Matt said show him this, but I wouldn't know how to put it. Fucking hell, that's beyond me.
What did he say? What happened? I didn't see this.
The guy come out of his roof. He's obviously he looks like a house, but I presume it's 2 flats. And he's come out of his roof with a fucking great big carving knife in his hand, shouting Allah Akbar and all this malarkey. And all the armed responses there.
They shoot him.
And they were worried about tasering him because he's jumped out onto like a bay window with a bit of a slanty roof. He's jumped onto that, and then he's gone onto another window and come down into the driveway where all the old Bill were.
They shoot him.
No. When he jumped down, They were frightened to taser him because they were frightened that he was going to fall onto his own knife.
That's a shame, isn't it?
I would have stuck one straight in his legs. You know what I mean?
Never mind that poor old sod yesterday who's there, he's raising money in none of that. Yeah. And that guy stabs him to death, kills him. You know, that poor old son, 87 years old. All he's done all his life is raise money for causes in his mobile scooter. And somebody comes and stabs him. They got the guy. But I mean, what the fuck is this country coming to when you've got people running around all the time now? Not just us, the police. How many police have we?
At the end of the day, Mike, as I've said hundreds of times before, it's the working, whether you like it or not, regardless of where these people come from and who's doing the murdering and who's getting murdered. Yeah, it's working class killing working class.
It is, yeah. It is.
There's no mileage in it from to do anything. Now, if this fella in the wheelchair happened to be down the west, was from the West End, yeah, and lived in a £8 million house and was one of the tops, or if it was like for Alan's cause, as I've said many times, if the kids that were getting raped and abducted, etc., weren't from the working classes and they were from the middle upper classes, they'd be on that. But it's the working class attacking the working classes.
Well, that's proven because
in the main.
Well, if you can prove that, look at Dolphin Square. I mean, in the 60s, I used to go to the clubs. There was always guys going, do you want to come to a party? We go to Dolphin Square. So I fucking go to the
yes.
And they're all, and that's
I know about Dolphin Square in London.
How many people do you think never came back from there?
Yeah.
And that's all because they were rich, famous, and all kinds of
and that's where you've got the problem. You know what I mean? And then I've just seen another advert that the Mets just started a brand new campaign. They started it yesterday for recruiting. All right, they've dropped the ethnic thing and they've dropped the university educated. They've dropped that. Basically anyone, which is what they've been fucking doing anyway. That's why you've got the standard of police you've got, because they've recruited any. If you go in there, if you can basically speak and use a big pen, you're in. You know what I mean? They put you through. The training's not the training's not like it used to be, like it was back in the day at Hendon. You know what I mean? You don't get the failures.
Nobody's got faith. Nobody's got faith in any government. Ronald Reagan said one of the most profound things. He said, "The 9 words you should fear most. I'm from the government. I'm here to help you."
Yeah.
Absolutely true. And I mean, you cannot put it in a more succinct manner. It's exactly what he said. And it's absolutely true. What do governments actually do for us other than take money from us?
I don't know. Go around to Michael
That's what they do. That's their primary goal.
I mean, let me just come in a second, Dave. Let me just come in a second, Dave. Mikey, you talking about Dolphin Square. Do you remember when I often talk about the Elms Guest House in Barnes and Dolphin Square and about me cabin in London, and I knew all the haunts, I knew Coo Stark, and the Belgravia flat, which used to have the parties and stuff like that, where Prince Andrew used to go, blah, blah, blah. All this is linked. Well, Dolphin Square used to have its own landing off the Thames. It had its own mooring. It was on the Thames. And the kids were coming from Barnes up the Thames because they didn't want to take them by road.
Oh.
So children's bodies were found floating in the Thames. Right? And from Dolphin Square. They were taking children from children's homes. They were waterboarding them and doing all sorts of tortures and these macabre and sick ritual sexual fantasies on children in Dolphin Square, right? And it was only down the road from Westminster. It was in walking space. It was Pimlico. It was Southwest 1.
Yeah.
It was the politicians that were using it. And listen, you could talk about politicians till the cows come home, and I will tell you this for nothing. There is and was a Westminster paedophile ring. I don't care what it is.
Still is.
150,000 indecent images found on electronic devices in the Palace of Westminster alone. Yeah. They were found on 10 Downing Street when Theresa May And then we can talk and go all over it. We could talk about Herbert Brazier, Theresa May's father. We could go back to Maggie Thatcher. We could go back to Ted Heath. We could talk about Cyril Smith, Jeremy Thorpe. We could go on and on and on. And it's still happening this very day.
Why does it? Why shouldn't it stop when they can do it with impunity? Who's there to police them?
Children, listen, Mikey. The children are the new drug. You can use a drug once. You can use a child 100 times. And I say that sounds crass and horrible thing to say, but children are the new revenue to the currency. Children are the currency, right? They can buy and sell them. And like there was a post put up a little while ago about we're slaves and blah 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 blah. We talk about slaves. Listen, our identity is stolen at birth from our sister vitae, right? And then when we talk about common law and we talk about our divine right and the straw man and your legal fiction and so on and so forth, at the end of the day, you're worth your weight in gold from your birth certificate, because that's when they steal your identity.
No, the thing is, we keep repeating it, but nothing happens, does it? I mean, people think we're joking. People think it's just like that's conspiracy theories. But I can speak from experience that it actually happened. In the clubs, these guys would disappear, never sort of subway through them. They said, "Oh, it's a bit strange. They don't go down there, fucking all trying to fuck you up the arse, and suck your dick." And I said, "I was going to do nothing for money."
It's about working classes as well, Mikey. And
absolutely, all working
classes. People that go to London, right, and drive into London and get hit by this community charge, the congestion charge, and also this green levy. Now, if they haven't got the right car, and they don't know London, and they go to all they're doing is funding Transport for London, because all the money that's made in the congestion charge and this green levy that they're putting out now funds Transport for London.
Well, the green levy. Well, apparently the green levy is going to go. They're going to suspend it, I should say. They're going to take away. They're going to do all kinds. They're supposed to be doing all kinds. That's if Liz Truss gets in. Now, Liz Truss. I suppose we should talk about her. Who would you rather have, Truss or Sunak? I wouldn't have Sunak.
One of them.
Trust it. Well, you've got to have one of them. Well, I mean,
it doesn't matter which one you get. You think you're not going to get shafted if Truss gets in? It doesn't matter which one you get.
Listen, it's
one at a time. One at a time, please.
It's the degree of shafted. That's what you got to think about. Who's going to shaft you the least? Well, we know Richie Sunak's already shafted left, right, and centre, and if he hadn't been chucked out or resigned as prime minister because he wants to be prime minister to bring this about, I mean, do you think he's really going to change? Let us don't change his spots. Liz Truss, okay, she's making the right sort of, just about the right sort of. Give you some glimmer, and I mean a very pinprick in the universe of hope that things may just improve an oomph. But that's about all you're going to get. I mean, with inflation will get to about inflation will get to 15%, and no matter how much money you got as working class blokes, we are all going to feel it, because every time we go and spend £1, you're going to have to spend another 20 pence, and that's the
mate. Listen. Have you seen some of the advert? I mean, I haven't seen one in the bank. I don't spend a lot of time in banks to look at their fucking notices on the boards, really.
Only with a shotgun.
But have you seen? No, that was never my game, Mike. It's only rumours, never my game. The thing is, I know some people are upset that you can now go in with masks on, but the sides that they're saying are up there. If they're there, is that how much are you taking out? Why are you taking this money out for? Why are you taking £1,000 out? Why are you taking £2,000 out? Whatever it is, right? And Alan will know where I'm going. You want to try putting it fucking in, mate?
Yeah.
Try putting fucking a couple of fucking grand in the bank. You know what I mean? A bit of money.
Listen, I mean, years ago, I had a huge amount of cash, and I couldn't put it in the bank. I couldn't put it. First of all, they charge you a lot of money to put it in the bank, because they want to count it. So they charge you to put it in the bank.
Yeah.
If you draw money out now, Mikey, it's like the Spanish Inquisition. They asked you. It's like you're filling out a job application.
Yeah.
The fucking questions.
Three people.
Are you sure you want to
three
do
people a day to count money that went in the bank? 3 of them it took to count it. Got checked 3 times. And their machine.
More than £5,000, they get the police around with that HMRC. Where'd you get the money from?
You have to fill in a form.
If you take 10 grand out of your bank account, they block you.
Yeah, I hate you for it. I'm just about to take out 60,000 quid out of an account okay, to put into something. And I already had the bank already been on to me saying, "Are you sure you want to? Are you sure this isn't in the crypto?" I said, "It's an insurance company. It's a pension company. This is an investment." And they said, "Well, we do investments." I said, "Yeah, have you seen your rates?" Thanks a lot. Fuck off. You know, that's it. I mean,
well, if you need some cash, let me know and just transfer the money, and I'll give you the cash. If you want pound notes out at home.
I don't need any cash. That's the thing. That's
the way it's gone. That is the way cash has become. Everyone's saying about, oh, we can't get rid of cash. Cash is now a pain in the fucking backside, mate.
But we've got to keep. Liz Truss has promised that she's going to keep cash. We're not going to have a cashless society, which is basically what they've been gunning for. WF is doing it. All the banks are doing it. They want to control where you spend it and how you spend it. That's basically what they're going to. Just like smart meter. We all know
the internet's not capable of it, though, Mike. Mike, listen. It's all right saying about all these things, right? What you have to think about is the infrastructure. Yeah, building houses, they don't put the infrastructure in. Electric cars, there's no fucking infrastructure in it. To have a cashless society, the fucking internet for the last, because it's gone so mental now, over the last 2 years, it's accelerated 10 years in advance, the internet, with people with online shops. Fucking everyone's got a business now online, just about, of one form or another. eBay fucking accounts, God knows what. The infrastructure on the internet isn't there. That's why it keeps crashing. It's nothing to do with Big Brother watching your fucking lives, trust me, right? People who have they're not watching everyone's lives going, oh, look what these talking about.
Hang on, Swifty. I mean, yeah, while I hear what you're saying, you're probably 90% right. Are you sure they're not actually watching? Of course they're watching us. They've got keywords that the American government. Yeah,
listen, if you start talking about bombs and bullets and Semtex, all that will come up as keywords. Of course it will. Course.
And there are other
anything like that, it will come up as keywords. Do you think they're going to watch your whole fucking live when you've just done what we've just said? Of course they're not.
Well, let's take that a step further and develop that just for a second. In America, they're just about to take on 87,000 more tax collectors. To people to go around with guns, armed, with parts of the job description. You must be able to carry a gun and use force if necessary. This is what the revenue service are doing.
I wouldn't mind that if I was in America, to be honest with you, because in America it's fair fucking game, because you could have an AK-47 in your gaff, can't you? Come and knock on my door with your guns, mate.
I've got no problem. Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Over here, your back's against the wall, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Well, they've disarmed the population, took the pistols away. But guns don't kill people. People kill people.
No, guns don't kill people. Robbers do. I've heard the song.
But it's true to say that people kill people. Guns. I mean, if you took all the guns out the planet, took all the guns away from everybody, the people still find the bad guys still find a way of killing you with a gun.
Yes, they will. They just start clubbing. They go back to clubbing each other to death.
I mean, the thing is, if in this country you could have a licensed firearm in your house, would you have one? I would.
You can. You're Protestant as well. We all have a right to self-defense. You're right. You're right to defend yourself. Don't come from government, because government only gives you privileges. Yes, that's it. Your rights are God-given to protect yourself.
Yeah, well, do you remember all them years ago when that guy shot that pikey with a shotgun, and he was arrested by the police and got found not guilty? Absolutely right, because you have a right to defend your own. If someone comes storming in here, I mean, if the police, like we know that the police come crashing through the door and you stab him, the chances are you're going to get found not guilty, because you've got no fucking right to come to your house.
Well, we've got the recent case law, Robert White versus the Queen. Very interesting case. Robert was at home. The two policemen, PC Dunn and PC Belmont from Kent Police, the finest, they broke in his back door via a plastic bottom panel, tasered him, beat him up. Bob had a swing at him. And when it comes to the court case, the jury found Kent police guilty of trespass, unlawful trespass, and the judge in his summary, QC David Griffith Jones, who retired a day or two after that case had finished. The High Sheriff of Kent was there, the gallery was full, and the jury found Bob not guilty on all counts and found Kent police guilty of trespass and that they had no right to be there.
Yeah, you can use that.
Hang on. And the uniform did not afford them any luxuries. They was just like a common robber.
Yeah, but that's case precedence. That's set now. That is case law, case precedence. You can use that. When the police come and trespass on your property.
Yeah, but it's not been challenged at all. It's not been challenged. And
it can't be challenged.
It's precedence. It's case precedence.
Yeah.
You can't challenge it.
It goes along with Vaughan versus Mackenzie. There's loads. There was a woman in the late 60s that a bailiff turned up at her front door and she told him to stay there. He knew her. He was local in that area. And he's come walking in the house and she'd done no more, picked up a bottle of milk and smashed him over the head with it and put a big gash in his head. When the court case came and the jury found that the bailiff had no right to be there. Now, here's the thing. I just helped a French woman yesterday who's got this guy who's ex-RAF. His name's Andy. I don't know what part of the country he lives in, but he's now going round and threatening. He's working for a company called Jacobs. And when he phoned her yesterday, he was swearing at her, telling her that she was a piece of shit and everything like that. So we're trying to find this guy and put some fucking heat on him because he's an ex-RAF man. He's a veteran and he's going around abusing women and acting like a high honcho. Hang on. All of this is a civil matter. All of this stuff to do with money, etc., council tax, whether you've not paid a speeding fine, whatever. It's a civil matter. And in civil matters, no forced entry can be lawful. It's not allowed. It's not allowed.
Not even with the warrant. Not even with the warrant.
Who's the victim?
Even if it's a papered warrant or it's on a computer, it's civil. It's civil. And look, I said quite some time ago, with everything that they're doing with the energy companies and petrol and everything, things are going to get tight for a lot of people. These boys in blue and girls in blue, and I don't want to see this happen, and the bailiffs are going to find themselves when they've backed enough of us into a corner and we can't take no more, we're going to come out fighting. And when people come out fighting, they get desperate and they do desperate things. There's going to be police, men and women, and bailiffs in this country in the next month, in the next year or two, if the current climate carries on, that actually get killed. They will be stabbed or they will be shot or they will be strangled. I can guarantee it because you can feel it building up to that. There's going to be a flashpoint. And at that point, maybe they might pay attention.
But Dave, how many times have we talked about Rice versus Connolly and Majensky versus others? They're all case precedents. They make a difference.
They do. Boris Johnson went national with the press quite a few months ago, and he turned around and said that basically it didn't matter what the courts had set as precedents and case law. The government was just going to do what they wanted to do anyway.
With their Bill of Rights.
How can we put, and listen to what you just said, why are we putting people in prison for not paying a TV license?
You can't. They don't no more. They can't. They're not allowed to. Well, no.
I've got to say, look what I got. I got this. TV license.
Hang on. Yeah. I'll get that. But hang on a minute. Hang on. The good Lord says, know thyself. If you go to court over a TV license thing and you stand in the dock, guess what? You're going to go to prison because you don't know who you are. That's the big difference. Look, I've got a letter in my filing cabinet from 2013 from a bailiff down here called Mark Thompson. He sent me a thing through the post. He posted it through the letterbox saying, there's an arrest warrant for you to go straight to fucking prison. And if we see you on the road in your motor, we're going to arrest you and take you straight to prison. Me, in 2013, I phoned him up. I said, Mark Thompson. He went, yeah. I said, have you got your ears open? He went, yeah. So I'm only going to say this once. He said, right. I said, I'm here. If you ever come and fucking lay a finger on me, I will kill you. Don't bother. And I've never seen that man in 10 years. He's never come round. I had no more letters. Now that's what they call righteous justice. I, as a man, drew a line in the sand and I thought to myself, these people don't own me. Who do they think they are telling me they're going to arrest me and put me straight to prison? I said, you come round here, there's a good chance you're going off as a stiff because I will protect and defend my life to the end. Your choice. Never see him. Never see him. And I think people have to start taking this attitude. It's called righteous justice.
Of course you do.
You know?
You're bang on the money, Dave.
One of the worst people.
What it is, because they put the fear in people, you know what I mean? Wait till the 1st of October starts when they start with all these fucking new alarms coming through on your phones. I've turned mine off because I don't, it goes off enough without those fucking morons starting. With all the emergency this and the emergency that, and there's this going on and there's that going on, and your phone's fucking giving you loud wailers. They're starting it on the 1st of October. And all it is to keep the fear ramped up. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's all it is.
Oh, and they've been controlling people for the last 2 years, and they want to listen. You've listened to Delroy and you've listened to Charles, and they've spoken about it many, many times on the show on Tuesday nights. This control is not over by a long stretch.
No,
not a long stretch.
That's the predominant reason why you can't get people together, and it's the fear. It's not just that they can't turn out. They won't say it, but it's because they're frightened. They're frightened that they'll lose their house. They're frightened that they'll get the bailiffs on the door and everything will go tits up. You know what I mean?
Tony Blair.
People turn around and give it that. They'll wise up eventually. But again, it's the same old thing. You've got the fucking working class coming round to take the working class's gear.
Well, Tony Blair, to take this a step forward, is now saying we should all be wearing masks because we've got to protect the general public. They're now saying we've got a new vaccine out that protects you from everything. I've had 3 because I had to have 3 to go to America. I've had 3. Okay. I've never had a sniffle, never had anything, right? I'm not protected. I've been fucking lied to. That's what I've been doing. Because
but Tony Blair is a criminal in the eyes of Joe Public.
Hang on, when we were kids and we all had polio and the BSG, all that fucking for TB and everything else, it protected us from that disease. Okay, diphtheria protected. We never got it. Okay, why is it they're giving us an inoculations that don't stop you getting it? What's the point of taking it if it doesn't stop you getting it? Oh, you get it, but you won't have to go to hospital. Well, that's bollocks, isn't it? So basically, what's the point of taking it then? To save the NHS? Well, save the fucking NHS from who? To save the NHS from killing us, basically. One woman yesterday waited 19 hours for an ambulance. Okay, when she gets to hospital, she waits in the ambulance another 15 hours. Yeah, right. That's just to get seen. And this is a woman is seriously ill with a heart problem. Okay,
and there was another one at 22 hours, Mikey.
Oh, there
Listen,
you go.
No, that's gone on now, Alan. I got a message today. Matt, who's our head of admin, his father, he collapsed on the lounge floor 2 days ago. We're at now. 2 days ago, she called an ambulance. After 22 hours, she's still phoning them saying, "Where's the ambulance? Where's the ambulance?" They've now got another message from the ambulance people. They're going to pick him up on Monday.
I shouldn't laugh, but that's not right, is it?
They're picking him up. They've told him we're coming to get you Monday.
So in other words, you have to say. So we have to ring for an appointment. Can you come next Wednesday? I might be ill. Yeah. Is that what we've got to do?
And that's Bath area.
Well, this is what they want you to do with the doctor's surgeries now. They want you to email them and to email an appointment. They want to do with telephone calls at 8 o'clock in the morning where you want to make a doctor's appointment and you do it all by email. If you're lucky, your email will get answered 3 weeks later.
Yeah, the thing is, if you go, the reason it takes so long in Bath is because they've got all these places you can't take a motor vehicle and it's 20 miles an hour. So basically, city centre of Bath is like total pointless. It's just like London's going to be when nobody in London can afford. They don't want a car. They can't afford to have one. It's going to cost you 25 quid a day to drive it, unless you've got electric. Now, electric vehicles, they want to build high rises again. That's sort it all out. We'll build high rises. Oh, you've got the penthouse, love it. I've got an electric car. I'm going to charge it.
I know. Well, look at all these houses. I mean, you know, not just Islington, not just London, but all the older streets that you know that are about. You know, predominantly. I mean, the new housing estates that we've got, they are fairly new, aren't they? I mean, predominantly we've got very old Victorian streets in the United Kingdom with on-street parking, with footpaths next to the house. Where are people going to charge all these cars in? Because even if you charge them at your house, what you're going to do? You're going to run the electric across the footpath.
Well, that's what they're doing now. That's what people are doing.
Well, the way they should get fucking nicked, mate. I'll tell you what. The first time I see one of those, I'm going on the floor, mate. That's where there's blame. There's a fucking claim.
Absolutely.
What's that? One of these?
No, electric vehicles.
Oh, none of that old business. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're going to get an electric shock. Have you seen it? Can you see me screen share, people?
We can.
Of course we can. Who's pinned the post? You, Dave?
Yeah, that's me. I've got one of these.
I thought that was yours for a minute.
No, this is the website from Holland. This one's not as good as my one, but it just goes to show you don't need petrol and diesel. You just need a nice, decent pair of legs and a healthy chest, and you can get pretty much anywhere you like.
What about if you've got no legs?
Then you're stuck.
I can see a family of four going down to the New Forest in that. Fucking hell.
Yeah, as it happens, Dave, you're supposed to have cycled over here, and during the week, there I was sitting in a restaurant with like the epitome of a full English, sitting there with a cup of tea, big mug either side, plate. Not I said, my mate will be at any time now. And
I've had the roof of the Velo off this week doing some maintenance. I was trying to get the indicators going. I only put the roof back on it today. So I will within the next few days I'll be coming over to see it if you're around.
Talking about breakfast, Mikey. Guess who's taking me for breakfast tomorrow morning?
Go on.
Charles is coming down to the site where I'm working. He's going to take me across the road in the cafe for a full.
Really? So we'll say hello, Sailor, for me.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So anyway, I mean, what do you think? What do you think of this little turnout that's going on in America then, with Trump being they said 30 armed officers, they're all saying machine guns to go into
Mar-a-Lago.
In Mar-a-Lago to take 30 boxes of declassified, as we've seen, documents. Because as president, he can declassify anything he wants. Even though he's in negotiating with people, even though the National Archive know about it and cooperate, doing all kinds of stuff, and they go crashing it. Do you think it's something to do with it trying to stop Trump from running for president?
Well, no, they're not. No, they're not going to stop. Listen, they can't stop him running. They're not going to lock him up.
They can.
The man's got.
If he gets prosecuted for a felony,
that ain't fucking happening. That ain't happening. What it does is, what all this does is it the American electorate, all from what I see, all that does is it makes the ones that would, some of the ones that would vote for him go, no, I'm not voting for him. And it's to try and fucking put a squeeze on his voters, you know what I mean?
Well,
that's the way I see it.
Yeah, but all it's doing now is motivating all the voters, Democrat or Republican, to vote for the Republicans. They just voted out Liz Cheney and put a Trump-supported Republican in.
Yeah,
and she's like royal family when it comes to the politics, because her dad was Dick Cheney, and they're all politicians. So I mean, it's working.
Why did they raid Trump's house at Laguna Beach, wherever it's called? Why were they so desperate to get in that house? What was in that safe?
I know the answer to that. They all wanted to raid Ivana Trump's knicker drawer and have a sniff. That's the only thing I think of. To give her.
Why did they raid these? Was they concerned about the material that he had with the dirt on them? That's what I think.
Well, I mean, the thing is, they politicise the FBI now and the Department of Justice. No politicised now. The FBI look to me now as totally corrupt. They are Christopher Wray now. Won't come to Congress. He won't come anywhere. And he gives a straight answer. He said, "It's against the investigation." Merrick Garland, who's the Attorney General, whatever, the head of the Attorney General, he's sitting there waffling on. 3 minutes he's given. That's the only thing. 3 minutes. That's the only thing he's done to tell us why he did it and what's going on. Nothing. They're a bunch of fucking criminals, and they're trying to put Trump in. Whether you like Trump or not, he's a citizen of America, and he should be treated as such. I mean, we've been sitting there talking about our rights not to let people crash over the thing. Why is it that you need 30 guys with guns when you've got Secret Service guys armed in
Michael?
Guns are going there? It's bullshit.
Michael, the truth is, the only thing that is a citizen of a country is this poxy piece of paper. It's not you that's the citizen, it's this.
Yeah.
It's this. And what this represents is not you as an individual, but this represents you as being part of their fucking club. Yeah. That's all it is. It's you're part of our society. But that's
the reason why they don't want people like Trump in there, because he pulls all that. He does put all that to pieces. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we wouldn't be in the situation we are around the world if Trump was president.
But what you're saying is, don't you think the American people had enough of Sniffer Biden?
Oh, yeah, sure.
We've got Mo in the house now. Anyway, let's all give Mo a nice warm welcome to the show tonight, lads.
Good evening.
How you doing?
Can I just say, look, there's another coloured ball in there. Look, there's 3 of them now. Look.
We're getting up on that.
Yeah.
What's on your mind, Mo? What's on your mind?
Right. Well, when people are saying you can't get guns in this country, I think you need to read into miniature rifle range. Yeah, the laws on that, because you can get anything without a license. Right, they do, like, you can get AR-15s, you can get AK-47s, you can get basically all the guns that are out there, MP5s, whatever, all in a 2.22 caliber. Yeah, and if it's under 0.23 caliber, right, it was all set up because of like the Boer War. Yeah, and it's a law where, because our lads didn't have much shooting experience going into the Boer War, and they was going up against the Boers that had a lot of its shooting experience. So what they done is they reduced and let people have like basically up to a 0.23 caliber. And this law still to this day, if you look it up, go into UK Gov and type in miniature rifle range or miniature rifle club and read it all about it. You can go down to your local gunsmiths or like where you buy a gun from and tell them, I've got a miniature rifle range and I'd like to purchase a .22 rifle.
Can I just make a point here? The weapon of choice for an assassin is a 2.2 automatic.
Yeah, because when it'll go in, it goes into your head. Yeah, it'll go into your head, and rather than go out the other side and make a big mess, it'll bounce around inside the head and do more damage, bouncing around inside.
That's right. Yeah, exactly, and that's the weapon of choice for an assassin.
That's what Dickie Bird went on a rampage with quite a few years ago up round near, I think, Cumbria and the Lakes. Now, here's the thing with that case, and Dickie Bird in particular. Dickie Bird was a cab driver, and I do believe that Dickie Bird's brother was a solicitor, and there was a row over some property and some cash, and Dickie Bird felt a little bit aggrieved by the way that this had all come about, and that is the sole reason why Dickie Bird did what he did, was because, and that's why he went and killed people, because he was fed up with the system, and he got ground into the ground just maybe that one too many times. And this is poignant because this is what we're going to see in this next 18 months. There's going to be so many people ground into the ground, right? Because we've all had pretty decent lifestyles over the last 25, 30 years. The system, we know it's repugnant, but as long as it's been leaving us alone and we can put food on the table and that, we're fine. We know it's there. We know it's nasty, but we've just been not really paying attention to it. When normal working class men and women can't make ends meet and they're having all these demands, they're having their gas meters taken out, they're being put on credit ones they can't keep up, then they're pushed into corners. And when people are pushed into corners, their brains engage and they go into survival mode. When we go into survival mode, this is when we're going to see the pushback. Now, we've all been saying for years in the truth movement, whatever it is you want to call us, we're waiting for the pushback. We're waiting for this time period to come where mankind gets off its fucking arse and stands up to the very system that's oppressing them. Well, that's coming. That's coming because, trust me, I've got a friend of mine that has got 2 young blonde girls as daughters, and his wife's a very pretty young lady. They're up and around Cambridge now, and he's a cage fighter. He's an animal. He's about 15 stone, fit as fuck, and I wouldn't want to right-hander off of him. When I see him a few months ago, he was so incensed. He said, "You know what, Dave? If I didn't have my wife and kids right now, I would be up at Parliament killing them all." He said, "Because he said they're screwing me sideways," and I'm like, "Wow." I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is the time period. This is the time period that we're in. As dangerous as it is also exciting because this is the catalyst to wake this great country up and for all these dodgy politicians to be seen in full view. And trust me, it's happening right now.
Hey, David, when we was in Parliament Square on the 5th of November, we kind of saw an inkling, right, an inkling of what it could be if enough people, instead of causing arguments and fucking arguing with each other, came together and forget about any fucking differences, just do what's the right fucking thing and get rid of this fucking...
Can I just make a point? But can you tell Swifty not to carry out fireworks with him?
They'll be there next year, mate. They'll just get plotted up early.
Are you going to do? Are you going back this year? Are you going to go back this year?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Good.
I turned around and said, "Where's the fucker gone?" They're sitting on the wall with him, talking away with him. Next minute, why didn't you just wait until it was dark and got in the middle of the fucking thing and just lit them up then?
We're just arguing over money with that with the police up there. That's all we're doing.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're suing them?
Yeah.
They're animals. They've gone too far. And do you know what? I think there's many coppers up and down the land now that realise that they're going too far and that they're actually prejudicing the people and they've got to stop what they're doing. I do genuinely think that loads of them now are really having a little double take. Here's the dichotomy. The police, the men and women that have been going out and assisting all these bailiffs, breaking into people's houses and swap their gas and electric meters and shaft the missus in the kitchen if she's fairly decent, they don't realise that they're next on the list. Because if they think that energy companies and that are going to worry about whether they walk around with a fucking tit on their head, they ain't. So when they can't pay their bills, because what's a copper earn? 26, 30 grand a year? That's before. And then you've got your take home, I don't know, 21, 22. That ain't going to go nowhere. We know we've got police in this country going to food banks. We know this. Yeah. We know this. So when they got bailiffs kicking their doors in and leaving them with no gas and electric, they're going to go, we got a problem. We got a fucking major problem.
Do you think these police...
What Dave said about getting nicked for... what basically, they nicked him under the Terrorist Act for off-the-shelf fireworks.
Wow, he looks it.
He's a bit of a banger. There's no doubt about it.
They tried
his fucking back on the bus.
They tried to
fucking back, you two fuckers.
They tried to say that the fireworks were display grade. That's what they tried to say, but they've lost that argument.
Hey, Dave, you can't park that there, mate.
No. You can't park that there, mate. But anyway, the argument's lost. They know the argument's lost. They have offered what I called a measly amount of money, which was most people would have took it, but I know there's more in the pot. So you have to go for the biggest number you think you can squeeze out of them, don't you?
Yeah, go for it, mate.
How much do you think?
5. I've already said to them, $5 grand and I'll go away. I said it's half decent holiday.
Why off you $2 grand?
Take me with you.
Really?
$2 grand?
It is going as well.
Fuck off.
I'm coming.
$5 grand. You
They've offered more than $2 grand already.
Do you know what? I'm going to Cornwall in 2 weeks' time. 8 days, it's 2,000 quid.
And
See, here's the thing.
Me and Al, just while your show's on a minute, Dave, me and Al went up to Edinburgh week before last, was it, Al? Yeah,
it did.
The beginning of August. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago now, wasn't it? 2-3 weeks ago. Anyway, we went up for the opening of the Edinburgh Fringe. I was at Al's. The week before we went. I went to him on the Monday and we went up there on the Thursday. Anyway, as per usual, I thought, fucking hell, I'll get a fucking Holiday Inn or something. You know, it's fucking Edinburgh. There's loads of hotels in Edinburgh. So come the Friday night, the Thursday night, was it the Thursday night, Al? I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, Thursday night, we're driving up there for Friday morning. Come the Thursday night, we're getting messages off of people that are already booked and going, and we're meeting up there on the Friday and the Saturday and the Sunday. And Thursday night, we're still fucking looking for a hotel, right? Hotels in Edinburgh for the Friday and the Saturday. Friday night, Saturday, check out Sunday morning. 600 quid a night.
Yeah.
And if we wanted to stay somewhere, that's Travel Lodge. None of them had anything. And if you wanted to stay somewhere after, I prefer a Holiday Inn. I like someone with a swimming pool, a spa or something, you know what I mean? So you can fuck about in the morning, do a TikTok or something, earn a few quid. Anyway, to stay somewhere with a swimming pool was fucking, Al nearly fell over. I said, come on, Al, it's only fucking, what was it, 2,076 quid for the two of us, you know what I mean? He went, £2,076 for 2 nights. He said, you're fucking joking. But we stayed in, where did we stay, Al? Oh, where the doctor lives. Where the doctor lives.
Was that Dr. Finlay? Was that Dr. Finlay, was it?
Livingstone. Livingstone, I presume.
Yeah, presumed. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Livingstone. We stayed in Livingston.
Did you
Livingston.
Jesus, Joe.
But even 2 nights in, everybody started doing the same thing, booking further and further out, the fuckers. And we stayed in Livingstone, which is 30 minutes from the town centre. And that was, what did we pay, Al? 370, wasn't it, for 2 nights?
The thing is with all of this, right? The thing is with all of this, we're the problem. Because all the time we perpetuate this,
we
make it happen. If we say no, stick your room at $2 grand, then they'll learn that way. But all the time they keep upping it and people keep paying it. They're perpetuating their own future.
Well, the problem with the Fringe is you've got over 2,000 shows on at the Fringe while it's going for a month. You've got over 2,000 shows going. A lot of people fly in from America and China and Japan and all that, and they will pay the money because we're going to fucking Scotland and all that bollocks. And but anyway, we went. It was a very good show. A pal of ours, Paul Bogey, who he wrote the book Heroin to Hero. He wrote it during the lockdown. He was a heroin addict for 13 years, got off the gear all by himself, just stopped, just got up one morning and went, that's enough. And he wrote a book during lockdown about it, and he joined the Scotch Guards after he came off the gear. And he did some good service in the Scotch Guards, did very well for himself. And Tony McGeever, the guy who did War Horses, turned it into a one-man show, his story, Heroin to Hero, and that's on at the Army at the Fringe. And they've won 2 awards already. They've won first in one category and second in another. So that's good. And he's just got it on in New York. It's going on in New York. That's the one. That's the one, Al. Good old Al. He's got it on in New York now, Tony McGeever, and he's going to do a worldwide tour with it. He's in London next. It's coming to London after the Fringe. Heroin's a hero. All the money that Paul raises on it through the Fringe and all those book sales that he's doing, all the money he puts into homelessness. He doesn't take a bean for himself, not a bean. His wife does a fairly good job, and she does support him 100%. So yeah, it's if anybody's in and around, go and see it.
He says in there, Alan Merritt, all the best. Keep it simple from one survivor to another. Paul Bogey.
Hang on a second. Can I just say something to you there, Alan? He said, keep it simple. I wonder why to you. Why would you say that to you? It's a bit worrying, isn't it?
I would have finished it off by keep it simple, stupid.
We got a very pretty lady in the house tonight, guys. We got a lovely lady called Victoria, and she's very eye candy. I don't know if you've seen her.
Yeah, very nice.
Very happy in her profile picture there. Look, nice to see you, Victoria. Patsy, sleep well, darling. Sleep well, Patsy.
Walking from pub to pub, because that's what we really do. Really
She's
good at
probably
that.
At home now, going blushing. She's probably blushing at home now. Yeah, very pretty lady. Telling you. What?
Very nice. Mucho. Anyway, so there you go. But you cannot. I mean, the thing is, they've got rid of. You can't wolf whistle anymore. Yesterday. I mean, I bought a drink, and I said, I went to pay. I said, oh, by the way, I said, excuse me, darling. She went, don't you call me darling. I said, sorry? I said, don't you call, how dare you? Do you think you are? He said, what's up? You've got no right to call me darling. The guy next door, he said, look at the state of you. Look at the state of you. He said, who want to fucking call you darling anyway? She was trying to grow a beard. I think it really was. Only that she was combing up rather than down. But I have to say to you, that's what you're putting up with in London. It's an absolute fucking
night. It's a thing now, though, that's become a thing now where the like proper staunch fucking feminists can't wait for it to come out. They can't wait for it to be able to say it. They're looking for people to call them darling, just so they say, you can't, don't call me darling. Fuck off. How about that?
My mate was walking past a calf quite a few years ago, Dawn. She's a nurse down West Country, and she see Jermaine Greer, who started the feminist movement, sat outside this thing, a bit sorry for herself. Anyway, she said to Jermaine, all right, mate, we'll have to sit there and have a cup of tea with her. And they started chatting. And she said, what are you doing sitting out here? She said, there's loads of people in there. She said, yeah. She said, they've kicked me out. And Jermaine, she said, why? She said, because I won't support the trans thingy feminism movement. They said, we don't want you no more, so we're kicking you out. So Jermaine Greer, the woman that started feminism, she got kicked out of her own thing because she wasn't down with the status quo. See, all of this stuff, right? If you're saying I'm gay or I'm a lesbian or I'm a transsexual or I'm over here, I'm running this, I'm climbing this peak, it's ego, it's attention. You're just looking for the attention because there's something lacking in your life that you need to reach out and seek people's approval and say, oh, look at me. And that's all it is, because people's lives have become so baseless and with no worth. That's the only reason this is all going on.
It's getting back to this thing. It's like I've seen many of these things when they say to all these people, these wokey lefty little shitbags, they go, okay, what is a woman? What is a woman? And then they say, one American Republican was questioning one woman. She said, can a man have a period? Yes, she said. And I thought, yeah, that's when he's got bleeding piles. That's the only time he starts sending up fast.
I would have stopped the conversation there, mate. I would have just said, no, fuck it.
And then he says, can a man have a baby? In certain circumstances, yes. Well, how many blokes have you told to get fucked? And they'd probably take you up on it. I mean, the thing is, this is where the world is. It's on a knife edge of toppling into so much rampant stupidity. You won't be able to fucking open your mouth anywhere because you'll be accused of just about everything. And then where are we? It's a nightmare, absolute nightmare, because nobody knows what you can and can't say. You can't go, God, darling, you look really lovely. How fucking dare you? Who are you talking to? I mean, a woman said to me yesterday, I was all dressed up to go up to London, and she said to me, she said, nice to see a man looking as well dressed as you. Now, if I'd been a woman, she's that sort of some lesbian minge muncher, I'd have been, she probably would have said, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
My channel's going to get struck off YouTube tonight, and you just know that.
Anyway,
it's going to happen.
Let me tell you something.
You can't say minge muncher.
See, look,
ready?
Here we go.
Right, very soon I'm going to be starting 2 or 3 weeks work for 2 guys that live together. I think they went for a ceremony or whatever. But I've spoken to them about this sort of thing, and they can't stand all this LGBT stuff, right? They're not in your face. You know they're gay, and they're happy. I'm happy with them. They're lovely people. Now, Matt Everard has just said, and he's just made this point as well. He's just said, I'm a gay male. Other than now, I never talk about my sexuality. I'm human like the rest. He said, and I've got nothing to do with the LGBT. It's like them kind make it bad for people like me. Exactly right.
How many people like us walk around saying, I'm married?
To be honest with you, lads, there's more people like Matt than there are in the LGBT little fucking clique.
Absolutely.
It's a very small fucking clique. They think it's a big clique. It ain't. They're small in fucking numbers, and all they want to do is pipe up. And I think they do realise when they asked the police this year, funny enough, at the LBGT, the gay pride in London, they didn't want the police to. I mean, they didn't want it to turn up, but they weren't not going to turn up because it's a fucking demonstration at the end of the day, however you look at it. And they didn't want the police there, but I think they do realise now that even with the police, that with their fucking rainbow cars and their stupid rainbow makeup that the police put on whilst on duty, of course, and waving the flags and fucking skipping and whatever else they're doing whilst on duty, totally ignoring the fact that they're actually in a fucking uniform that they have no respect for whatsoever. They realise they have shot themselves in the foot, and they are starting to wind their necks in.
Yeah, but in that case, if they can do that, why can't I put a swastika on the arm? If I said I'm a National Socialist, I'm a Nazi, I want to show what I am. Why can't I
getting banned tonight? I'm definitely getting a ban. I'm getting banned tonight. You know that.
Because they want a certain set of rules, Mike, don't they? They do want. They want a certain set of rules. They want everybody else.
They want their own rules. They don't accept ours. I mean, Dave's going. They're probably struck. He might get struck off. Got a tick because we're speaking our minds in a society which is free speech.
But look, I want to thank Matt for putting that comment up. But even this conversation with us in here, we've got a man that's just come in here and made that comment that he keeps his sexuality private and he don't want nothing to do with the LGBT thing. And he said, and it's actually making people like just him look bad. And if we get a strike for that, then so be it, because he's come in and expressed his God's honest truth. And mate, fair play to you, Matt. Fair play to you.
He's a sincere man as well. He's a very sincere, brilliant human being.
Yeah, he's not. He's nothing special. He's just a normal person who pursues his own way of life. A normal person which is his own way of life and lives his life the way he is.
This is a person, Mike. This is a person. This is a person. You're a man. You're natural. This is a person, not you.
He is what he is, and no one can change that. And so, I mean, why? Who cares? I mean, why do people have to walk down wearing pinks and rainbows and say, "Oh, look at me, I'm gay"? So fucking what? Who gives it to us? I don't care. I don't. That we have to band him out and say, "Look at us, we're all gay." I remember my first wife, Siobhan, went to the first Pride March in Brighton, with these weird ones. There's some very strange and fabulous people there. Really some funny fun. But now it's not funny. It's not a laugh. It's all very serious. And we're taking out this gayness to be, oh my God. If you're not gay, then you're not. You're completely you're an arsehole. That's the wrong choice of words.
Out of all the gay people that I know, including family members, out of all the gay people I know, there's only one, And this is what I call them. Like anything else, religion, whatever you want to call it, they're radicals. That's what they are. They're fucking radicals. You get them in every walks of life, radical people. In every forms of business, you get radicals. And these people, the LBGT, are radical gay people. That's all they are.
It's what the thing that what makes me really throw up though is the way it's rammed down your throat and the way they're trying to propagate this message to our kids. Like saying, are you a boy or a girl? 3 years old, are you a boy or a girl? And the mother goes, well, you know, he loves wearing dresses.
Because they think it sounds hip, Mike. They think they sound hip. You know what I mean?
They're fucking the kids' life and they're fucking the kids like for their own agenda.
Yeah. But they think they sound hip, mate. That's why they do it.
Tell Dave something, because I'm dying to tell Dave, right? Do you remember when Kathy was in the care home and Serco, who run Lincolnshire County Council, the money laundering corporation that keeps asking me to pay £1,400 for Kathy's care while she was in a care home that wasn't fit for duty? Well, I don't know if you can see that, but I put unrecognisable sender, return to sender. Unrecognisable return to sender. They kept sending me letters, I kept sending them back. Now I've turned around and said to them, if you want me to join in a contract with you, you are saying that I owe you £1,400. Now that you want me to join in a contract with you, you now owe me £1,400 because this is a subsequent letter. It's now £2,800. If I receive any more letters from you, it will double again.
There you go. Good. I'll send you some information now, just to put down. This is if I can find it. I'll put it up. Copy. Oh no, I can't. It's
send it to me by email or whatever, and I'll print
it off.
Well,
it's you. So it says here, a natural person is a legal concept that gives notice of a confidence in a fictional instrument. This confidence is in the law legislated that protects the rights of such natural persons while in intercourse with equitable-based entities. The law, now held in a secret trust as the res, becomes the valuable consideration offered in order to form a legally binding agreement. Now, what it says, if you, because we've been placed in this equitable trust, the Queen is actually the trustee. She's the trustee in the trust. So we're saying that under the Settled Land Act of 1925, that the Queen is the trustee. The law has already been established, and that's that. And I'll send it to you, mate. I'll promise you they won't come back to you after you send it to them. It's really, really, really good. If you don't, like, I'm someone that's always known that I'm natural in nature, and I've always felt that, and I can't see how I can control another man or another woman. I can't do that, and I don't see why any corporation should be able to come and control and harm me, because we're all equal before the law, and no one's above the law. So that's why I do what I do, because I do have this natural way of thinking, and we are natural creation. They don't own us. The only thing they own, which is the membership of their society, is this poxy instrument. And it's not ours, it's theirs in any case. So why are we playing with it? We shouldn't be playing with it.
But what we were talking at the top of the show and what we've been saying through the show about this and that and about the way things are today, these companies like G4S and Serco are part of the problem.
G4S are the enemy of the people of this country. England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. G4S. Trust me, they've got a couple of prisons they're building up around near Wellingborough. These places are massive. They look like concentration camps. They don't look like prisons to me. Yeah, and they've got their own crematoriums inside of them. And if I was paying attention and if I was listening to shows like this, I'd be very concerned about the fact that basically they can just grab you, incarcerate you. You can go missing, and no one will ever know the truth. No one.
Yeah, Dave. Over the gateways, Arbeit Mark Frey.
That's basically it. Arbeit Mark Frey. That's exactly what this place is. Exactly. There's a prison officer that's in trial, I think, at the moment for letting other prisoners into this cell to give this individual a certain ID. And I don't know if this individual's died, but this prison officer's up in court at the moment for this. He's basically opened up the door, let these others go in and give this man a good idea within an inch of his life or kill him. I'm not too sure. We've got 4 minutes left, guys, so I'm going up to 10:30 tonight. I know we've had extra quarter of an hour. I hope you've all appreciated that. So summing up for tonight's show, guys, if you've all got a few seconds just to give us your viewpoints.
Go on, David.
Bollocks.
Well, that was swift. See what I did there?
I would say.
No, I do enjoy your shows, you two. You are the crack, and Dave knows his bacon. So does Mike. You know your eggs and your bacon, and it's very informative. That's why I like to come on, and I prefer to listen like this, to be honest with you.
The nice thing
so
is,
you can interject. I can't be bothered with all this fucking bollocks. You know what I mean?
While we're all here, I think we all agree to have a pie and mash-a-thon.
Yes.
A pie and mash-a-thon regardless. I'll come down like we did before and have a pie and mash-a-thon somewhere. And anybody who wants to join us, we'll tell them where they are, perhaps the week before. Say this is where we're going to be. So we might get, if we get that.
I'm down on the south coast at the end of the month.
Hurry up before they put the fucking prices up.
There you go.
In the UK,
can't we get together? Me, you, Mikey, and Dave.
Yeah.
Come down to Worthing to Dave's in September, the first week of
Why
September.
No, you can't. Don't come down here for fucking pie and mash, mate. The geezer that does a pie and mash down here, fuck me, mate. I wouldn't fucking go
Can't we
to
meet up and do something together? Can't we meet up together and meet up?
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll go back to Tabrish Road, go Menzies.
I'm not
yeah, you got to go. If you're going to go pie and mash, you got to go Menzies.
It's Menzies, or we go down Wharf Road. We go to Armix, which is really good.
But
anyway, right, let's hear from Alan. Alan, what are you going to sum up with tonight's show with?
I will say keep doing what you're doing, and I look forward to the 27th of August when I'm speaking in Manchester, Piccadilly Gardens, and I will still campaign for our children that were abused yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Bless your heart. Davey Baby's got a miner's helmet on at the moment. He's out and about.
He's gone.
I have to say that looking at Alan on the screen, he looks like he's got a miner's helmet on now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Look like Torchy the battery boy. Yeah, well, two torches. I know.
Let's hear from Dave. What are you going to say, Mo?
Go on, Dave.
Me?
Yeah, go on, mate.
I ain't got a lot to say, really. I'll just look up that miniature rifle.
Right,
stuff. Educate yourself on that, because if you want to arm yourself, you can legally arm yourself.
Look, we have the absolute right to arm ourselves and defend ourselves. Our rights do not come from government, and that's that. Our rights come from nature, whatever that may be. We have a natural, all of us, all the men and women of this land, we have a right to look. I've just come into the world to bring these messages. That's all we all have. Government don't get to tell us what we can and can't do. As Jefferson said, the government should fear the people. That's liberty. When the people fear their government, that's tyranny. And that's exactly where we are. So anyway, gentlemen, I want to thank
before you go, Swifty's going to do a famous impression of George Formby. Okay.
Yeah. Here's a little song I wrote for you all. It's for the people who pissed me off yesterday, today, and probably tomorrow. All right?
Okay. Yeah, go on. Let's hear it.
Fuck off.